What's going on, Jeromes? We are back. Happy 2 for Tuesday. Daily Jeromes live stream, 11 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Thursday. It's a good time. It's a beautiful day here in the great state of Minnesota. We'll talk a little Minnesota Vikings. We got a lot of Q's. We got some A's. It's a good time. Thank you very much for making us part of your day. So let's actually get started. We have like 100 questions, so let's go. Nick Jones. My grandma was a lifelong Vikings fan. She passed away Sunday night, and one of the last things she ever got to experience was the Vikings being the Packers one final time. I'm so grateful that the Vikings don't have the same mentality as the Tank for Trevor fans. Well, hey, props to your grandma. Hopefully she had a long and full life, and really happy that the Vikings get her one more W, especially over the Packers. But yeah, God bless. Eric Hansen. I know you don't do collaboration videos, but I can't imagine a better video than one between Andy and Vike Flair. Producer Ali has been bugging me to do another Vike Flair video. I don't know why. It involves work. Not really my thing. Joseph Dickinson, regardless of where the Vikings end the season, they need to get Zach Wilson. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, Zach Wilson is becoming my sweetheart. He is. Like, every single draft, like, everyone has their favorites. I think Zach Wilson is very quickly my draft crush this year. Les Thirst, did you vote today? Also, this is here to remind everyone they should. Skull. Haven't gone yet. We're going to do it when we pick the daughter up from school. So we're going to get out there. Samson, because, I mean, we drove by the polling place. Man, it was packed. It was packed this morning. Everyone trying to get in before work. Samson Romaine, how disappointing is it that we didn't get King and he only went for a 6? Yeah, that is super disappointing. It is. Now, would the Vikings have given up a 5th for Desmond King? Although you would think, just by the way the records are now, that the Vikings 5th would have been higher than the Titans 5th. So it would have been potentially more compensation. Or maybe they were out. Maybe they straight up just were out. It's also a possibility. Next up is Reeve Ghoul. I can't come up with a question. I can't think straight. All the blood is still in my pelvis. Max McElroy. Keep Cleveland at right guard if he shows continuous improvement. Him and O'Neal bully the Packers. We can find a tackle in the draft and keep Reef if he still plays well. I think Riley Reef actually may be playing himself into an extension. That's how good that Reef is playing. Still find a tackle in the draft. Okay, I still believe in Ezra as a left tackle, but yeah, his performance Sunday against Kenny Clark and the Packers, like him and Brian O'Neal side by side, him working some combo blocks with Garrett Bradbury. Come on, son. Come on. Tyler, what do you think of Troy Dye's first start? Well, I wish he would have been faster getting his ass off the field on the 12-men penalty, but he only played a handful of snaps. I don't really have a big opinion of him as of yet. Andy Shong, thoughts of the up-and-coming DJ Wanham? Man, just getting that sack, because we went back and looked at the tape, and Rodgers was cocking up to throw to the left, front corner of the end zone. It was Devontae Adams in triple coverage, but I'm glad that DJ got to him. So with Wanham, he's not this physical freak. Like, he is not Danielle Hunter coming into the draft. Like, he is not a twitched up edge rusher, but he is a solid meat and potatoes guy, solid against the run as well. They're using him in a variety of ways. There was 2 snaps, maybe 3, versus the Packers where he was essentially a 3-tech, except he was standing up. So just throwing that little wrench towards offenses, it's really intriguing. Seth B. Herman. I really have a good feeling about this team going on a run and ending up 9-7 or 10-6. We need cornerback help, though. Dietrich Nichols was the best cornerback in the XFL. Isn't even on a practice squad. What do you think of him? I do not know that man. I do not have an opinion on him. Next up is Gavino. 3 players you want in and 3 players you want out before the deadline. Well, King would have been 1. I mean, hell, maybe they pull off the caper for Stephon Gilmore, even though it wouldn't make a lot of sense for the Vikings currently. 16 games. And also the 3 I want out. I don't think they make any moves at the deadline, but Rudolph would probably be numero 1, except who's really going to give up trade capital for that contract? Probably no one. Also, it would be embarrassing if you give away a team captain and a guy you signed to that big a contract, the 5th highest paid tight end in the league, for a 7th round pick, even though that's what the market would probably bear. Waz Wumble. Since we have good defenses coming up, should Gary Kubiak come up with a few trick plays and a few jet sweeps and more play action? There's a really good defenses coming up though, except for like the Bucks and the Saints. Well, just in terms of against the run, but I mean, sure, a couple more wrinkles are always interesting. Kevin Ace. I was looking at the draft prospects like last week and stumbled across a couple potential late round steals. Reed Blankenship, Elijah Molden, and Leon O'Neal Jr. I've not done enough research to have an educated opinion on those three gentlemen. Game of Jones, thank you for all the content. I wish you made content when I was younger because I have to watch NFL Network for hours just to get a few minutes of Vikings content. Yeah, that's always rough, man. It's rough. So anyways, here's my question. If only one person could stay with the team, who would you pick? Spielman, Zimmer, Cousins? If only one person could... I would pick Zimmer because his job security wouldn't be guaranteed with the new GM anyway. So in order of who has to go first, Cousins would be 1, Spielman would be 2, Zimmer 3. T-Rag. I have a really great feeling about Zach Wilson. I also think he best fits the team we have with the lineman that can move and all the weapons. If not him, who do you think would work out best with the team that we have? Well, Trevor Lawrence would work out pretty decent. Specifically for the Vikings, there's just something I like about Trey Lance just a little bit more than Justin Fields. I understand that Fields is doing it at Ohio State big time, just like he did last year. I get that. Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is more of a manager as opposed to a guy that you win because of, a guy you win with as opposed to because of. Although, I mean, he's looking really damn good. Kyle Trask, I think, is the least attractive to me just because he has a statue in the pocket, and that does concern me. Derek King intrigues me just because he's fun. Sam Ehlinger just has that sort of cojones it factor, where it's going to be an ugly-ass game, but he gets it done in the clutch spots. He does remind me of Eli Manning in that regard. Desmond Ridder is a super intriguing athlete with a hell of an arm. Like, he is like a poor man's Josh Allen. Well, that means he is Josh Allen. Daniel Olson, why are you the best Vikings channel? How does one make videos like yours? How did you become an awesome YouTuber? I need your secrets. I don't know. Just put something out. Find things that interest you, and maybe people will be interested. That's about it. 1M. I honestly see this team going 7-9, 8-8, or even 9-7. Does that mean Kirk for 2 more years? Or maybe a second-round pick on a quarterback if they get a second-round pick somehow? Well, I still think that it's likely that they cut Kirk Cousins, especially if he is not the reason for the turnaround, which at this stage, no. But even if he stays, which would be... the Vikings should find a way to still pick up their quarterback in the future. Sam Maros, what do you think about how Zim said Cam could play this week? Oh, I thought he was talking about Cam Newton. I was like, I don't know, why is Zimmer talking about the Patriots? But yeah, Dantzler, apparently the neck injury is more concussion as opposed to like a significant neck injury, which is fantastic because, man, that looks scary. It looks scary as hell. But, I mean, if it's just a spot where he was completely knocked out cold as opposed to having a major... No. Oh, we got some spam. There you go. Yeah, if he's just knocked out cold as opposed to, like, major nerve issues, neck issues, sure, passes concussion protocol, get after it. Pulford Skull, let's see here. Pulford Skull, no more Desmond King option. Wah. Titans just gone for a 6th round. Seriously, we couldn't have done that and kept Reef. Yeah, I know, it is kind of shocking. Tristan Thunny, do you think we could still get a quality young quarterback like Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, etc., considering the wins we may not schedule ahead? Also, where can I find the Discord link? Oh, you're the person who kept bugging about the Discord link. Right there. Skull Lover content. Makes me laugh. Coming up with a coping terrible losses team Avs. Hey, thank you. Turtle. Actually, wait, the Discord link is in the description. Yeah, get that. Turtle, if Thielen and Jefferson become non-existent, what's your top 3 on the wide receiver depth chart look like? I mean, Kubiak did say that you're going to see more of Chad Beebe. Find you someone who loves you like Gary Kubiak loves Chad Beebe. I guess Beebe, BC, Tajay, because he's on the roster. Maybe Osborne. It's a shame that Alexander Hollins is not getting the time of day on the practice squad. Pretzel Boy. Huge fan, Park Rapids. This team has the potential to go on a run. By the way, if the Vikings make the playoffs and make a little run, does Kirky stay? If he's the reason because of it, maybe. If not, no. Hey, let's know where we're watching from. I'll give a couple shout outs. I always enjoy doing that. Let's see here. Big Richard Nick. I get that they're all basically rookies, and it's not all about INTs, but do you find it concerning that other than Harry's one interception, no other defense back on our team has one yet this year? Well, with interception, there is a little bit of puck luck. Just hasn't really gone the Vikings' way. I mean, Anthony Harris was tied for the league lead last year with 6. Just hasn't really worked out this year. Randy Moss is the boss. What do you think of Tua's first start? Was he fine, or was he carried by the defense and special teams? I haven't watched the game. I did see that the Rams outgained the Dolphins by 250 and still lost. But I haven't watched it yet. LB, what would you think if the Vikings drafted a left tackle and kept Ezra at guard? If it's Penny Sewell, I'm in. If it's Leatherwood or Walker Little, okay, I can get behind that. Also, have you ever been to Chatfield, Minnesota? Yeah, we played Chatfield all the time in high school. Chatfield had one of the nicer tracks back in the day. Also, man, what was in Chatfield? Was it like a Dairy Queen or something? No, it was like a local knockoff of a Dairy Queen, but it was a really good spot. So, Patrick Harms. Why am I not sold on Zach Wilson? Because you're a communist? Nah. I'm definitely all for Trask. Owen, I hope we make a trade today. Wilson, you like the mobility. You like the arm talent. You like that he throws the receivers open. I mean, both Wilson and Trask do have a big-time arm. I mean, Trask probably has the strongest arm of any quarterback in this class, but there's just something I can't quite put my finger on it yet. There's just something that I'm out on with Trask. Just can't quite figure it out yet. 2K opinions, $5 super chat. Andy, love the channel. I was thinking a great weekly segment would be reacting to Vikings PFF grades each week. Thoughts? It's possible, but you know, I'm good friends with the people at PFF. Now, if just putting up the grades, which is, you know, it's behind a paywall. Next up is Miles. Have you met any players, and if so, how are your reactions between them? Yeah, met a couple of them. They're just people. Yeah, it's cool. Skull Vikings. Do you think we will actually make trades? Probably not. Nah. If the Vikings had lost badly on Sunday against the Packers, then I could see the fire sale going on, but nah, I don't see anything going on. Oh, John Elway got the Rona. All right, next up is MD. With Desmond King gone to the Titans, Quan Alexander going to the Saints, are you more scared of those two teams? No. Quan Alexander is bad, man. And Desmond King, sure, it's whatever. But also I feel bad for Kiko Alonso. This is the 4th time he's been traded. That's like a very backhanded NFL record where it's like you're not bad enough to cut. You have just enough talent where people are still intrigued by you that they want to acquire you. It's like how Dan Reeves has the all-time loss record for being an NFL head coach, where you're good enough to stay employed, but you're bad enough to rack up losses. That's what it is. MD. Oh, all right. That's that one. Oh, shout-outs. John Ross will not get traded today. I bet you they just cut him. All right, let's see here. Seth B. Herman Skull from Fargo. What's going on? Purple Rain, Wausau, Wisconsin. Preacher Paul, hauling it for all y'all, leaving a rainy Vancouver, Washington. It's raining in Washington? Shit. Patrick Harms, Dark Side of the Moon. Luke Gillette, Cedar Falls, Iowa. What's going on? Jacob Mejia Megat, Oakdale, Minnesota. Eastern Burbs representing. MIT 03, Duluth. JG, Skull from Sioux Falls. Pride of Trey Pipkins. Pulford Skull, Nashville, Tennessee. What's going on? Music City. Casey Perleberg, Oaks, North Dakota. Yesser El Sarag, Skull from Cairo, Egypt. What up? What up? And, Peter Hoffer, Skull from Columbus. Preach Paul, heading up to Chazistan. Viking Jerome, Skull from Visalia, California. Mr. Popo's down in Joe Biden's basement. What up? Connor Levine, Skull from Farmington. Tommy Johansson, Skull from Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha. Big Grover Compton in the house. Waz Wumble, undisclosed location, Central Minnesota. Hawkeye fan, Sioux City. Colt from Fort Meade, Maryland. What's going on? Sir Lord Rice, Detroit Lakes native, watching from Hubert, North Carolina. What's going on? Outer Banks. Daniel Tuma, Skull from Maryland. Ken Boy Johnson, Skull from Warren, Minnesota. And Len Jensen, Skull from Woodbury, DG, Purple Heart from Hawaii. 1M, Grand Rapids. What is going on? Thanks for coming along, gentlemen and ladies out there. Let's get it on. Next up is Griffin Creer. It would be quite the Vikings fashion, beat the Packers and lose the Lions. That being said, Kirk needs to be more a factor this week's games. Can't really work with Dalvin. Although, maybe not. I mean, the Lions are bad. Lions are bad, man, against the run. The 31st in touchdowns allowed. I think they're 22nd in yards allowed. But, yeah, it would be a very, like the last three games have been very Vikings. You take the Seahawks to the brink. You get woodshedded by the Falcons. And then, Amazon's here. God, what did we order? Are you guys like me, where I feel like there's so many things that come via Amazon during the pandemic? Also, so the wife is a stay-at-home mom, and also she enjoys ordering things. Oh, so today it is child locks for like kitchen cabinets and stuff, as well as a HEPA filter, a germ. Damn it, that's expensive. All right. Oh, so we have a HEPA filter thing. Cool. Neat. Just things show up. I don't even know what they are. That's what happens. Every day is Christmas. All right. Next up is Jared Lewis. Do you think the Cleveland picking up guard pretty well? Do you think it would be too crazy to think the Vikings draft Penny Sewell package to get a trade back in the first round, get a quarterback like Trask or someone? That would be the dream, wouldn't it? Where Penny, all right, so it's pretty clearly Penny Sewell. But, I mean, Leatherwood is up there, too. The tackle from Alabama. Walker Little from Stanford. Super intriguing as well. Like, it's a pretty decent tackle class. It is. It's not, maybe it's not as top tier as last year, but it is certainly interesting. But also, yeah, even though I've had my doubts about Ezra at right guard, and I think that he still has more potential at left tackle. I mean, if they can pick up Penny friggin' Sewell, I mean, Ezra, go play on the moon, man. Harvey Melber, no, just beat the pack. But do you think a team like San Francisco or Dallas would try and pry Kirk from us out of desperation? I'm in. Son of a bitch, I'm in. Or the stand pat with Dalton and Jimmy G. I think the Cowboys are quitting, and I think the Niners. Well, Jimmy's hurt. Yeah, so they're just, it's whatever. Kittle's out for 6 weeks, so it's rough. It's really rough. Sam Morris, do you think the Lions are going to put a wanted list on Dalvin this week, meaning Kirk is going to have to throw the ball? Well, it's not like the Packers were playing the pass. I mean, on a windy day, and they knew that Dalvin was the only guy who could beat him, and then Dalvin just busted down the way. And also, that's the double-edged sword of having 8 men in the box, is because you saw this a lot with Adrian in his prime too. Is if a running back is able to get second level, make one guy miss, he's gone. And you saw that a lot with Dalvin on Sunday. So, I mean, Dalvin's used to having a target on his back, especially with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback, so he'll be fine. Miles, how did Ham play? I thought he was pretty good. I thought he's decent from what I saw. I thought that he played better than Chris Boyd. Mark Fields, I think, played pretty well too before he had his punctured friggin' lung. I mean, what is it with the Vikings cornerbacks this year? Big Grover. Harrison has been quietly decent so far. My turn to Barrett Pro, then Hall of Dancer. Also, it's an election day. Get your votes out for Kanye 2020. It's very easy to vote this year. Now, I wouldn't say that I would say that he might turn out better than Hefe or Gladney. I have a high hope for all three of them. I think Harrison Ham played really well against the Falcons. Nothing of real note stood out to me watching back the Packers tape. But also, that can be good too. Boomatic, where do you get the game film? NFL Game Pass. Jacob Mejia Megat, what move do you think the Vikings have to make if they want to make the playoffs? Trade for Stephon Gilmore? I mean, you would think the Patriots would be selling at this point. Goodbye. All right, next up is, I'm just monitoring the news. Like, we want to trade one more time. Next up is Quad Life Abuelo. Do you think Justin Jefferson will be better than Diggs? I think he certainly has the potential to be. Diggs never made a Pro Bowl, which is odd. Michael Lukasiewicz. Michael Lukasiewicz. I nailed it. Jimmy G out for the season. Sell Kirk today. I don't think the Niners would be buying, man. I think that they're a very fraudulent 4-4. Like, when a 2-5 Vikings team has more hope than a 4-4 Niners team, that says a lot. Also, more hope than a 5-3 Bears team. I think the Bears know that they're frauds. I think Matt Nagy absolutely knows that this is a 6-10 team. Wumble. Do you think Baby is going to have a similar story to Thielen? No. Because he looked good on the plays ahead. No. I mean, yeah, BB did come from a small school, and Northern Illinois is a much bigger school than Mankato State University Community College, but I'm still shocked about the Chad Beebe story, where he was not even a good college player. Like, this is not even a PJ Fleck, Northern Illinois wide receiver getting a cup of coffee with the Niners, but he will make very timely plays, like the big third down conversion against the Packers. He had a big third down play last year on a catch and run against Green Bay. Got the Vikings back in the game, so, I mean, maybe. I do basketball. Can you please stream all day so we don't have to deal with politics? I mean, we could. Nah. Harvey Melber. Rudolph to the Bengals for a 2021 fifth. I don't think you're getting a fifth for Rudy. Probably not. Harris to the Raiders for a third. I mean, the Raiders have Abram. I think the Raiders are pretty decent on the back end, man. Kirk and pick. Man, there's a lot of numbers. Kirk and a conditional 2022 fourth to the Niners for a conditional 2021 second. I'll just trade Kirk. Waz Wubble. If we go 9-7 to 11-5 and make a run, does Kirk? No, I'm having trouble reading today. These aren't even prescription. These are just like pure like blue glasses. If we go 9-7 or 11-5, make a run, does Kirk Cousins still start next year? And we sit our rookie quarterback, or do we start the rookie, or just straight up cut Kirk? I think that they'll just cut Kirk. I do. Minus going to or winning a Super Bowl, I think they'll just cut Kirk. AJ Bars, your thoughts on Titans getting Desmond King for a freaking 6th-round pick? Lucky. Nice. Patrick Harms, I think the Vikings need to play it safe and add Hercules back to the active roster. Well, they'll have to after one more call-up game, because then you can't get through waivers coming up from the practice squad. But, yeah. Kagan Winley. But also, I think there's a degree of safety because, players can decline being added to another team's active roster from the practice squad. They can choose to be on the practice squad. So what happened with Afadi 2 years ago when the Eagles tried to poach him. But yeah, I think Hercules now sees that he's getting opportunity here with the Vikings. I think he'll stay put. Kagan Winley. Do you think the Vikings should trade for Gardner Minshew? Minshew is a quarterback that's a lot of fun when he's not on your team, where you like that he takes chances and he gambles and sometimes has big-time cojones plays, but other times just shoots you straight in the dick. Like, he is a diet Baker Mayfield. That's what it is. Because there's like two categories of quarterbacks. Quarterbacks I want on my team, and then quarterbacks that I like watching as long as they're on another team. Manogiscus. Is it worth spending an hour or two to go vote, or should I just relax and enjoy the trade deadline? Nah, go vote. It's literally the minimum that is asked of you in terms of civil duty. Jerome Smith. Do you see Justin Jefferson? Do you see Jefferson, aka my name is Dave, pulling a Percy or Stephon or maybe even a Randy later on in his career? Nah, I don't see it. Ryan Mendoza. Favorite quarterback not projected to go in the first round? Derek King. Like, there's just something about it, man, where he's a mature kid. He's been through a lot. He's a plus athlete. I think that he's developing more as a passer every single week. Coming out of Houston, he was more of a thrower than a passer. But he just seems like a very easy to like kid, a leader of men. And like, I don't care that he's 5'10". Kyler's 5'10". Drew Brees is 5'10" when he's barefoot. So, man. Drill Smith, Andy, AP or Cook. When it's all said and done, if he stays healthy, Dalvin. Because Dalvin is the modern day 3-down back. He is. Manish, after the Packers game, which was always great to see us win in Lambeau. I think Vikings will go 6-10 or 7-9 at best. If Lawrence indeed does decide to stay at college, do you think the Vikings have a realistic shot at getting Zach Wilson or Kyle Trask if they pick in the 10 to 15 range? I think so, yeah. I think as of right now, so in draft preparation, the quarterbacks always get the headlines first, and then it's the rest of the draft. But I think that there's guys in the draft, like the 2 tight ends. You look at Marvin Wilson, some of the defensive interior guys, some of the edge rushers haven't really been defined. So then, yeah, I think it's easy now to project 6-7 quarterbacks in the first round. I actually don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. But I think that if it's such a deep quarterback class, teams who do have second and third round picks, could see themselves just picking up a signal caller day 2, maybe early day 3, and then going after value somewhere else. Because that's also what happens. Even though quarterback is the most important position in team sports, there is a quarterback tax. Quarterbacks do artificially get pushed up draft boards because of demand. If there's a ton of supply this year, I mean, maybe that gets depressed just a little bit. I mean, you saw this last year with the wide receivers, where you had 5 or 6 go in the first round. Yeah, it was 6, wasn't it? 6 go in the first round. But then later rounds, you saw guys who, well, why aren't they taking him? Why aren't they taking him? Why isn't Devin Duvernay going? Why isn't KJ? Why isn't not KJ Hamler? Why isn't James Prochet going? Why isn't Donovan Peoples-Jones going? Because teams knew that, like, hey, if we have similar draft grades to all these receivers, and there's a dozen of them out there, we can pick from another position that's a little bit more scarce. So, I mean, it. Long story short, yes. John Anderson TV. What's better, getting a playoff spot, although we won't make a Super Bowl, or getting a top 5 pick and drafting the quarterback of the future? I know you can get a quarterback later in the draft, but do we trust Zimmer with a lesser prospect? Well, do you trust Zimmer with a deemed higher prospect? Also, a lot of you people are suddenly having a lot of faith in Rick Spielman and picking a quarterback, huh? Also, how do you know that you won't make the Super Bowl? You won't win a Super Bowl if you get in the playoffs. There's only one way to know. And also, if you get a top 5 pick, how is it guaranteed that they actually take a quarterback? What's going to talk Mike Zimmer out of taking Caleb Farley, the cornerback of Virginia Tech? What about that? JZ. All right, so yeah, this bugs me because I understand it comes from a good place. Like, well, I want the Vikings to have a good quarterback. Well, no shit. So is every single one of us. But also, the higher the draft pick does not guarantee you the better the player. It doesn't. So wherever you draft, you draft. The Ravens do it. The Patriots have done it, even though the Patriots haven't done it very well lately. The Seahawks have certainly done it. So wherever you end up picking, assess. Will one of the better quarterbacks fall in the draft? It's possible. If you draft higher, does that necessarily mean that you're going to have better talent? Does that mean that you're going to have a better chance of hitting it out of the park? I mean, I think that Lawrence is a misnomer this year. Like, you should almost take Lawrence out of the draft equation because he's obviously going to go 1. And so, like, are you really ready to say that Justin Fields is going to be a surefire all-pro quarterback, or Trey Lance or Zach Wilson? No, probably not. So I almost think that Trevor Lawrence is a bit of a monolith, and that it leads into reductive thinking. It's like higher pick, better player. The only way you can get a quality franchise quarterback is at the top of the draft. It's just not true. So, play to win the game, and whatever happens, happens. JZX, you say you like to gamble. Do you play Fox Bet Super 6 Skull? Is that where you win Terry Bradshaw's money? Nah, I haven't done that. Sam Morales, was BC Johnson demoted? Nah, I think it's just more the Vikings have been running a lot of heavier sets. Well, Chad Beebe, I think, is the wide receiver 3, so maybe to a degree, yes. But also, yeah, BC was wide receiver 2 coming into the season. Justin Jefferson, you can't deny that. But also the Vikings have been running a lot of 2 tight end sets, a lot of 2 running back sets. So it's just, numbers game. Corey Maddox, Why are Kirk haters so petty? I don't know. Just how we are. Michael Lukasevich. Does Pat go back to left offensive guard? Now, Dozier had a great game yesterday. Like, the reason why Dozier still trotted out, because he does bring a little nasty to that run blocking game. Go Paladins, what up? Even though he can be a liability in pass blocking. Miles, it would be the most Vikings thing if we went 11-5 and then got waxed by the Eagles in the playoffs. Yeah, the Eagles won the division at 6-9-1 and host the Vikings 11-5. Got all the momentum in the world and then just get whacked. King of the North. Who will be the most viable free agent quarterbacks next season? Should the Vikings consider someone more veteran to the league instead of banking out a rookie? No, I'm really tired of retreads. If they do cut Kirk Cousins, which I think is the most likely outcome at this point, I mean, they can't afford Dak. They can't really afford to pay any veteran quarterback that's actually going to be worth his salt. Like, maybe they bring in Mariota after the Raiders cut him. I would personally be okay with that as a backup to the quarterback of the future. If it's tragic, why the hell not? Les Thirst. At this point, what's the percentage chance of Vikings that Kirk is a Viking in 2021? 35%? Sure. Buffalo Red 7 Heaven. What would be your reaction if the Vikings pass on Zach Wilson and go cornerback like Farley or Surtain and Wilson goes to the Bears? Sadness. I mean, there's a lot of players that I like that went to the Bears, like Jalen Johnson, second-round cornerback at Utah. I loved him, but he was off the board because he had a labrum. I mean, do people know that labrums can be very easily surgically repaired? But nah. And also Travis Gibson, who I believe was the 5th-round pick, coming out of Tulsa. He hasn't really done much this year, but nah. Waz Wubble. Would you rather have the 2 seed and play the Buccaneers at home or get the 7 seed and go to 4? Now, home game. Even though Minnesota in their infinite wisdom probably won't allow fans, 2 seed. Pretzel Boy. Vikings make the NFC Championship against the Packers. Kirk gets strip sacked and we lose. Well, that means the Vikings made the playoffs and they won a couple playoff games. That's still a tough way to go, though, man. I mean, that is really cool when division rivals meet up for the conference championship game, though. It's like when was it Ravens Steelers a couple years ago, and then a couple years before that it was Bears and Packers at Soldier Field. Man, that's awesome, man. Zach Ballas, I rewatched the game, and the end was so bad with a 12-man challenge and prolonged injury timeout. Do you think that series of events was a blessing in disguise that killed momentum the Packers are having? I mean, maybe, but also I to a degree the Vikings really got lucky. They had 2 cornerbacks at the end. Like against the Hail Mary, they had 3 linebackers on the field. Like, who does that? Well, the Vikings had to because of personnel, and also they had to have Josh Metellus on the field, which is just great. Pulver Skull breaking. Jimmy G and Kittle set out for the season. Hey, yeah. I wonder though. Depending on how bad Jimmy G's injury is, if his injury guarantees kick in for next year. That would be intriguing. Next up is Junior. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the best quarterback from this class. My reason he throws picks to teams they shouldn't throw to. I like to know your thoughts. I think that he is the most complete, safest pick. I think that he is up there with the Lucks and Peytons and the John Elways of the world. I think that he's got great size. He's got arm strength. He's got arm talent. He's got great accuracy. He throws the receivers open. He doesn't blink in big time games. He's done it on the big stage for 3 years now. And also he has it together in between the ears. Like, he is a quiet, thoughtful kid. He is a true leader. So I don't, you have to worry about him off the field. So I think that Lawrence is a slam dunk. But also, I mean, if Lawrence is just very good as opposed to a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback, and Trey Lance or Fields or Trask or, well, not Trask, Zach Wilson, Shane Buechele steps up and all of a sudden, oh, they're the friggin' guy. Wouldn't be shocked. Connor McMullen. Outside the Cousins extension, why does everyone want Spielman's head on a stick? Well, that's basically it. I mean, you can hit on every other position, but if you consistently get it wrong in quarterback, it's still the most important position in sports. And also you have a fifth of the salary cap tied up in Kirk Cousins. I mean, yeah. It's like having a steakhouse that has horrible steaks but a really good salad bar. Cool. Stanley Morales. Want to know something crazy? The way the draft works, all playoff teams start at 20. Well, this year 18, and some teams just miss playoffs around. If they win a few games playoffs based on the eliminated, so it's a championship, lose and say 28 with 6-10 record, that's nuts to me. Man, be what it be. RJ Free. Does this team have a puncher's chance in the division? The Bears are frauds. Green Bay's been exposed, and it's the Lions. Yes, absolutely. So the split with the Packers is big. You got 4 division games left against the Bears and the Lions. If you can take care of your business, Vikings certainly could get back into this derby. Plus, where was it? So Mike Clay put out strength of schedule. I need to pull that up. Because the Vikings have the 5th easiest schedule the rest of the way. Here it is. And hence. All right, so it's a good thing that we can zoom in. All right, so the Vikings have the 5th easiest schedule the rest of the way. Green Bay has the 10th easiest. I don't know. So there goes that point. It's whatever. Next up is Drew Skull. Wow, time to go to Mackey and Judge show. At least they have common sense. The way this guy talks, Vikings will never win a Super Bowl. The way this guy talks, the Vikings will never win a Super Bowl. Bravo, led Vikings 9-7 every year and win nothing. God, you're so smart. Wait. All right, so it would be better to intentionally lose games and get a quarterback who might not work out. How's that working out for the Jets? How's that working out for the Lions? How's that working out for the Bengals? How's that working out for the Browns? Nah. Play to win the game. Get in the tournament. See what happens. There you go. I mean, yeah, we got a lot of these like smug, snide comments like, you're what's wrong with Vikings fans, that you want to win the game as opposed to you should really lose, and then maybe you get a player who works out, and then maybe you don't lose, but then if you, he obviously needs help around him, so you should probably tank again. Nah, life is short. Play to win the game. Get in the dance. See what happens. I know. It's such a complicated thing, right? Being a fan of a team that you hope wins games. So weird. That's so odd. I get it. I get it. But like I said, Trevor Lawrence makes people nuts. He does. Take him out of the draft. You really tank it for Justin Fields? I wouldn't. Nah. But that's your thoughts. That's the Daily Jeromes live stream. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Subscribe if you haven't already. We have a bunch of good stuff. Film rooms. Love breaking down the film. Even though it's like an elementary school coach, like a pee-wee football coach, Friday night takes. That's all right. Come along. Skull, production value.